My whole life, I just ran. And that's all I ever did, one way or another, whether it was down a bottle of drugs, like getting out of my mind frame or whatever it is, I was always run. I had to break that cycle, and I'm like, okay, well, why am I trying to tweak who I am? This is the way I believe in God, you know, it made me. So why am I making all these rules? I can only drink on these days. I can only do this. I made all these rules to try to
make it work.
Try to make it work, and then I'm like, why am I trying to change who I am? This is who God made me to be. Why don't I use my strengths and that made me have weak decisions and weak choices and so many mistakes? Who am I? So I'm like, all right, let me go back to the drawing board, and it took the loss of my wife to really dial into that. Now every day means something to me. I roll out of bed, I drop to my knees, and I say, Lord, thank you for waking me up. And something about that, they say, like...
All right, what's up, guys? We're here for episode 23 of the Modern Man's Podcast. We got very special guest today, Ronnie Strangio. His story has been wild, like all of us. He's had his highs and lows, but as of late, he's really been making a big impact on a lot of people by just sharing his story, sharing some of his daily habits. We were just talking about some of the things that he's doing in the gym. Obviously, you guys see the biceps out here. My man's looking jacked. Ronnie, we're just thrilled to have you.
I'm excited.
But last night, Coach Mike Heyer and his wife, Jen, I was talking to Mike, and we were just talking about wrestling. And last night, he had no idea, but out of nowhere, he goes, hey, man, side note, I just want to let you know, I don't know if you know Ronnie Strangio, but I think he would be a great guest on the podcast.
Wow.
And I was like, dude, he's coming by tomorrow. Like 1 o'clock, I'm going to be with him.
That's crazy.
Yep. So many people are watching you, dude.
Appreciate
so many
it.
people are super proud of you, whether you have that self-belief in yourself or not. But, sharing your struggles and sharing the story and, overcoming things. I think a lot of people are out there struggling, which is why Billy and I
100%.
wanted to start this in the first place, because we basically said if one person's on the other end of the camera watching and some of our relatable stories can help them even just a little bit, then this whole thing has been worthwhile, man. So
100%.
we appreciate having you.
I'm
Ronnie,
excited
give us
to be
some
here.
background on you.
I'm excited to be in here. I know these guys for a long time. It's crazy how many people, it all kind of set fire with John Hawksby,
Yeah.
I ran into this guy at the gym. I was doing my normal routine. I'm just kind of in the zone, and I just close everything out in life. And a lot of times people don't understand is like when I'm there, I'm working through something. Mm-hmm. So like if I'm there and I'm putting in 2-3 hours, I'm going through life's smacking me right now. So if you see me putting in that work there, it's not like I'm working through something, right? So like, we were kind of touching on a little bit earlier is that my whole life I just ran. I ran, and that's all I ever did, one way or another, whether it was down a bottle of drugs, or like getting out of my mind frame or whatever it is, it was run. And I had to break that cycle, and I'm like, okay, well, why am I trying to tweak who I am? This is the way I believe in God, it made me. So why am I making all these rules? I can only drink on these days. I can only do this. I'll drink a water every third drink. I made all these rules to try to
make it work.
Try to make it work, and then I'm like, wait, and I kept going back to the drawing board and coming up failing, drawing board, failing. And it's like, why am I trying to change who I am? This is who God made me to be. Why don't I use my strengths and that made me have weak decisions and weak choices and so many mistakes start turning it into a positive way? So, okay, all right, who am I? So I'm like, all right, let me go back to the drawing board. And, and it took the loss of my wife to really dial into that, Now every day means something to me. I roll out of bed, I drop to my knees, and I say, Lord, thank you for waking me up. And something about that, they say, like we were talking earlier, the most successful people roll out of bed and they make their bed is one of the first things, on their list. And it's like, man, just try saying thank you to whoever it is that you believe, something bigger than yourself. Because 30,000 people didn't wake up this morning that planned on it. 30,000. So like right now in this moment, are you proud of everything you led up to right now? Like if we walked out and got smacked by a bus, are you proud of what you did today? And that's the life that's how I get through my life. I don't want to just kind of say what people should do, but that's what's been working for me.
Exactly. It's all about what's working for you. Sorry.
Yeah,
Billy.
no, that's the point though. For me, I've taken a little bit away from each person that's been on here, and I know your story. I know it pretty well. I followed it. I know you a long time. Just watching on social media, I've taken enough away from you that I know sitting here, everybody that views this is going to take something away from it.
Yeah.
You've taken, me and Petey talk a lot about the gym, and I told you it provided a lot for me. You've kind of revamped yourself in there, and you're using that as an outlet. We talked earlier.
Yeah.
If you're searching for an answer somewhere, whether it's in a bottle or with drugs, whatever, you're going to find an answer.
100%.
It might not be the right answer, but it is an answer at that moment. Right now, I'm finding an answer in the gym. Right now, I'm finding an answer with some meditation. Right now, you're finding answer with a lot of work in the gym, and I mean really, really impressively. I mean, how much weight are you down now?
Like 110.
Yeah, I mean, that's
Golly.
fucking incredible, bro.
I got heavy, man. And, my friends I graduated high school 119, so then next thing I got in like 230, 240, 250. And then it was just, I don't want to know anymore, and I was like holding my breath to tie my shoes. And, I had a rooftop job and I'm getting off the ladder. My stomach's in the way. And I'm like, man, I'm out of breath, doing things that I've did my whole life, and I'm like, what happened? And it was just like,
and you were always in good shape. I mean, you wrestled, like you said, you left high school at 120 pounds. I mean, that's a big fall there.
Yeah, and I'm not tall, so it was a lot of weight that I put on, and it all comes back to the same thing: is that I wasn't happy with who I was. I was an empty shell of a man, and I had to revisit, kind of soul search, right? And figure out who I was and how can I use this to my advantage, Yeah. And that's pretty much what I've been doing every day. And then I'm just learning new things about myself through conversations like this or through and watching other episodes that you guys have done. And
yeah, I'm actually super thrilled that you were able to get so vulnerable through those terrible moments in your life because social media could be a little bit of anxiety, dopamine hit, addicting, whatever you want to call it. But when you start seeing real life shit that somebody that you've known since the 90s, I've known you since you're a little kid. Did you play Pop Warner too?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, because I remember you back from those days. We were teammates on the Predator team together. Yep. I just got the chills again thinking about it.
Me too.
I know that you looked up to me when we were kids, 100%. And I know that I didn't always have the best actions. We were talking a little bit before how I would act a fool after I lost a match. And I remember seeing you when we were older and I was like, fucking idiot, dude. Why was I acting that way? Young Ronnie was looking up to me, dude. I was giving him the wrong answers, man.
Yeah, you gave him some of the right ones later now because
in practice, I would give them the right message. I would work really hard and stuff, but the acting out after matches when he told me that I was picturing a little boy version of him, and I'm just like, fuck.
But man. He also told you that he used to watch you running with trees on your back.
I think the only person you're hard on is yourself.
Yeah, definitely.
You don't worst enemy for that because I think you're the only person who thinks that.
Yeah,
because not once did I ever think this guy's.
Think about it though.
Crazy,
you were 18 years old, 17 years old, 15 years old, whatever it was. I don't think there's anybody in this room that'll say they weren't a jerk off in their formidable teen years. Yeah. I know I was the biggest cocksucker around.
Yeah.
So think about who you were, who you could have been, and how bad it could have been at that point, and now think about who you are today, right? So we said it before. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
Yep.
It's not where you started, it's where you finished. So today you are Coach Pete. Today you are Ronnie Strangio.
Yep.
Revamped, renewed. Just like I am the newest version of Bill Stahnten.
Yeah.
And we're all figuring it out, plug and play, a little bit here, a little bit there.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're all throwing as much shit at the wall, seeing what sticks. But
I know, man. But I remember when you went through those terrible times, just between losing your wife and everything, but you got on social media and you kind of let everybody know. And that kind of reminded me of, again, when I had that seizure and I finally got my tooth fixed. I think I had a half a tooth between the scheduling and everything. I think I had a half a tooth for 3 months. And I was afraid to smile. I wasn't getting on camera for anything. And I like to send people personal videos and, just try to give people some light, when their light is a little bit dim. And, when my light was dim and I finally went and got my tooth fixed, I got on video and I basically told everybody like what I was going through, and like my DMs were getting flooded with people, and like so many people were like, "Yo, I can't believe you even said that." Like, number one, like I never would have thought that for you, and like number two, I'm going through shit too. And that was really when like a light bulb went off, and like I remember telling my wife, like, damn, I got mad views on that video. Like, I never get views like that. I don't know what the hell happened with there. But, like, I think what happened was, like, people saw that, like, Positive Pete is, like, a real human being, too. And, like, I got emotions, too. Like, life gets hard for me, too. Like,
well, you were
it's
vulnerable.
not just a highlight reel. You know? Like, look at me flossing. You know? It's like, no, dude, it's real life. And, like, that's what I like about social media is the fact that you could see – like, honestly, I would have had no idea if it wasn't for Facebook that you were going through all that.
Yeah, but
and then now you can
that.
see them now.
Yeah, but
so you can see the timeline.
Nobody shares their struggle.
No.
Ever.
Never.
And we talked about that,
Never,
right? So, like, on Facebook, you see they're on vacation, they're in Aruba, they're here, they're there. No one's saying, bro, I had a real shitty fucking week. This is, I was in a dark place. This is what I'm doing. This is where I'm at. It helps. Like, I know a lot of parents of kids that are friends with my son or kids that are part of the wrestling program that see it and they're like, I can't believe you and Pete have struggles. Like, bro, who doesn't have struggles?
100%.
Like, okay, so like, yeah, it seems like we got it all together, but I'm like a duck, real calm on the surface, but beneath that water, my feet are going a million miles an hour. Like I'm sitting here right now fucked up and struggling. Every day it's a new struggle. It's how you choose to deal with it.
100%.
And listen, I can say, fuck this. Let's go to the bar. Let's get fucking hammered and whatever. But, bro, I'd rather come sit, talk to a couple really good dudes who have some good shit to offer.
Thank you.
And figure out some coping techniques. You know,
Bro, I was randomly thinking last night about, like when you're either buzzed or, like, hammered, like, something like you feel so good in that buzz state. Like I remember, like I would feel like a freaking superhero.
I never
don't
felt
know
good
why.
hammered though.
No, I don't know why, but dude, I don't know because I'm Irish or something, or maybe I was insecure at the time and I'm drinking and like my identity, like, hey, this is who I am. Like I'm this guy. So juiced. So you were saying, all right, so maybe we could leave here, go get hammered. Okay, so you're gonna have a few moments that are gonna be hilarious. We're gonna have a blast, be high-fiving, chest bumping. Me and Ronnie take our shirts off at the bar. We're be fucking dancing. Bro, tomorrow's gonna be hurting so bad. So when you get to that choice that you could either hit the gym to get it out or hit the bar to get it out, tomorrow you're gonna be feeling good. You might be a little sore, but tomorrow you're gonna be feeling good. You hit the bar today, tomorrow you're gonna be hurt real bad, and you're definitely not going to the gym.
And you're gonna have a good sore tomorrow. Like today, you guys should know this kid, Eugene Reeves. So Eugene recently joined our team at work, and he keeps saying he wants to get back in shape. So this morning, he met me at Leaks Fitness, 6 a.m. I told everybody on here, hit Pete up. We get a workout in. I'll reach out to Robbie. So Emily came, Eugene came, and Pete showed up there.
Nice.
And my man Eugene hasn't worked out, he said, in 5-6 years. And he fucking got it. And Eugene's a big boy.
And
I
remember him, Eugene,
I mean, he did not back down. And I was proud of him. But it's, you have that choice to make. So, like, you could get up and you could get into it, or you could do something positive. And going to the gym, I brought up Eugene because we were saying he's going to be sore tomorrow. That sore is a good sore.
Oh, yeah.
Because you know you're working towards something positive, right? If I'm sitting there and I'm pounding shots, I'm A, throwing up. B, I'm throwing up all day tomorrow. And C, I am going to be fucking deadly tired for 2 fucking days.
For 2 days, not even 1 day anymore. At some point, it went into 2 days.
I don't know if that's because we got old or if there was that much more drinking.
I don't know.
I'm assuming I got old.
I was literally young. I mean, I was 29. Like, in the big scheme of things, like that's pretty young. My body was not bouncing back
Well, bro,
at the end of my drinking career the way it was.
I'll randomly have a drink now. And one drink, I feel like fucking shit tomorrow.
That's back to the thermostat.
But it's not even enjoyable. Like, I don't like the taste of vodka. I don't enjoy a mixed drink, and I don't really like beer. I'm happy to have water. Like, I'm good. So, but it just feel like shit. And whether it's one drink or fucking 10, I just don't feel good.
No.
So you were talking a little bit about, saying these prayers in the morning and everything. Like, what kind of religion do you think you fall under?
So I was like born and raised like Roman Catholic and Catholicism, and and like it was like a thing we did, CCD, the whole bit, like our parents kind of, yeah, exactly. And like I knew
Not your
like Our
choice.
Father, and I knew like the Hail Mary, but I didn't know it, right? Like I was doing this, I was going through the motions because that's what I was told to do. It wasn't until 2018 that my wife and I we were actually pregnant with twins. And this is going to be the first time actually saying it.
Again, bro.
So, I kind of ran with this thing that we lost the babies, and the truth is that I was drinking so much then that she tried to have a conversation with me, but I had this whole thing that all I ever wanted to be was a husband and a dad, and. So when she showed me, she put it in this necklace. I can't believe I'm saying this right now, but she showed me, and it was like necklace, and it was a pregnancy test. I came home from work, and I see it, and I'm like, whoa. And I'm like, I didn't think any of my swimmers worked or anything like that. I'm like, what? And I'm like, what? So right away, I was just excited. This is what I dreamed of, So I'm like, I'm calling everybody and their mother. I'm pouring, the vodka, and life's great. But I never had that adult conversation with my wife, man. At this time, she was I get goosebumps talking about it. She was my fiance. We were engaged, and it was like 6 months before our wedding date, 9 months before our wedding date, and she tried having this conversation with me like two adults would do when they are presented with this information. What do we do? Let's come up with this decision together. We didn't do that. I didn't even give her. Oh, man. I didn't even give her that. So, the reason why I'm so hard on myself today is because she was wonderful. She was so wonderful. And, I never physically or mentally or anything like, abused or anything like that. But she put up with this person that I became when I was drinking that, like if you saw me, like I was a good time. But you didn't understand that I was at the same guy 7 days a week, and she did. She saw that. So everyone, their image of Ronnie back then was like, yo, you were always cool people. We were always like got along. We always had a good time. Like, when did this trouble come? I was running for years, and she lived with that. You know?
But that speaks volumes of her. I mean, bro,
patience, man.
We're men, right? And for years, we're taught, shove that shit deep down inside.
Yeah, we talked about
you don't
that.
acknowledge this shit. You only got so many coping techniques if you're not going to sit down and fucking talk about it, right? So, like, you got me a little emotional now. And if you're not going to sit down and talk about it and figure out a healthy way to deal with it, we weren't taught any fucking better. And that's not my dad's fault. It's not your dad's fault. It's not your father's fault. That's just the culture that it was. But here we are in 2024. I love
that you said that you run out of coping techniques.
Yeah.
So I think these things, and this is so important that we do this and we shed light on the modern man and our day-to-day struggles, is we're shedding light on what really goes on from day to day for real people. Like Pete doesn't have a great day every day. It just doesn't happen. And I always bounce back to like Superman. I have Superman tattooed on the back of me. And it's like, okay, someone who's so powerful and he has superpowers, but he had his weakness, kryptonite. And, and I was like, okay, that's, like, how can I, like, follow that image, right? And I knew that I was human and, like, I had my weaknesses, but I was human, and that was okay. And for so long I tried stuffing it down, but I love how you said that you run out of, different tools, and that's why I think a lot of this stuff gives us new tools to put in our tool belt.
Well, that's the point. So we started this with the goal of helping one person. I've gotten a lot of benefit.
It's awesome.
You come here, you're going to provide a lot of benefit to people, I'm sure, just hearing what you've overcome. But we're kind of sitting here redefining who we're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And we're letting everybody else out there know, who's our age, maybe a little older, maybe a little younger, know that it's okay to figure it out. Like, therapy for me doesn't work.
Yeah.
It hasn't. I'm okay to be vulnerable, but just the constraint doesn't work. So for me, this is therapeutic. So I found the coping technique. The gym was a coping technique. Meditation, mushroom extracts, whatever it is. I've tried to adapt to my life, but it took me till I just turned 39 years old. The year, my 38th chapter, as Pete would call it, I started learning real coping techniques.
Yeah.
Now, throughout my life, I never had a real substance abuse issue. We talked. I could have a drink right now. I'm good. I'll feel like shit. But I loved to drink and fight when I was younger.
Yeah, same.
And it was a release. You had a fucking hard week. Let's go out and let's get fucked up.
Yeah.
Me getting fucked up would always wind up with me either being fucked up or getting somebody else getting fucked up because I like to fight. Terrible coping technique, but that was my release.
Yeah.
Not healthy in any way, shape, or form. It's not the example I want to be for my kid.
Right. Wow.
And I'm not the perfect example. I try to be a great father. I think I do all right. But I know if I was drinking and I probably wouldn't be the best role model I could be for my kids.
Yeah.
And you got to have self-awareness. So like you sitting here telling that story makes you super vulnerable.
Yeah.
And it makes me super emotional hearing it because there, but for the grace of God, go, I didn't have that issue. But we're giving people coping techniques and you're telling them it's okay to adapt now. You maybe didn't adapt yesterday, but let's adapt today and go forward.
Yeah.
Admirable, Ronnie. Yeah, that's it, man.
Help you help us.
Yeah, bro, it's a fucking pack mentality right now. That's it.
We're stronger in numbers for sure.
Yeah,
and,
bro.
What taught me that is through like AA. I started listening to other people's stories, and it was always like, wow, man, like that came out of that human being. It's like, what?
Right.
And like you get mind blown, and it was so fueling, so powerful that's when I started like, okay, how can I tap into that, right? And like the John Hawkesby thing, how that played out.
Yeah.
Is I was going through it, and I go through it every morning. I drive my truck to work, and I have my wife's card there, and I grab it and I kiss it a couple of times, and it chokes me up. And all right, we're gonna go get it today, baby. And that's it. And every day that I'm down here, I'll try to make her more proud than the day before. And before she left, I said, we got more tomorrows than yesterday's, mama, and I'm going to show you, who I am capable of being. And I'm down here putting in that work, man.
And she's smiling down, and she sees it, and she recognizes it.
I hope so.
Yeah, man. So how long has that AA journey been going on?
So
when
April
did you
Fool's
start?
Day, actually.
Oh yeah, that's my dad. Every time they get a dog, he makes their birthday April Fool's Day. That's just like his thing. Dude, that is the perfect day to start AA.
Yeah, it was. So the day before April Fool's Day, I got banned from Taco Bell for life. This Taco Bell right here.
Dog, that's when you know it's time. When
I've
Taco Bell says it's too much, bro, it's time to put it down.
I've never been banned from anywhere in my life. I woke up. And, the aftermath, I remember just, like you said, like, oh, man, what was I doing? I remember, like, just, like, images just popping in my head, like, as I woke up in bed next to somebody I was spending the rest of my life with, And at this point now I'm married already, like, 6 months. And this is how we're starting off our journey, is, like, I'm getting a DUI. I got beat by like 17 cops, yeah, man. I woke up the next day. I was hurting, and I knew that there's had to be a better way, and that's when I was like, I'll try anything. And I really thought I was gonna lose my wife at that point. I thought she was gonna leave me, and I was so afraid of that I was willing to do anything. So I got on the internet and tried the one thing that I always ran from, and that was like getting help.
Damn, that's
But
incredible.
you fucking did it.
I did it, man. And
Isn't
I would
that
do it
so
again,
wild
man.
that those really shit moments can just lead to so much good? Like, if that shit didn't go down at Taco Bell, like,
I
you wouldn't
be
even
here.
be
Nah,
with
man.
us right now. Like, you
I
wouldn't
gotta
really have much
ask,
to tell
though.
us about.
No.
Like, you'd be like, yeah, I fucking rip
I would've went
Taco
on a
Bell
whole
every
other journey,
night, and
man.
I've been drinking,
Yeah.
like, maybe you checking up
Blast,
on him. Like,
yeah.
yo, is Ronnie all right, dude?
Yeah,
That's
this dude
all.
still got a pulse. Yeah.
What the fuck did you get banned from Taco Bell for?
I don't know. I remember like just little bits and pieces.
You
that
did
I was
enough
in
to
the
get banned, though.
drive-through, and then whatever they did, they probably didn't do nothing wrong. I was just so insane that they probably didn't give me the right hot sauce, and I was like trying to rip open. I remember trying to rip the doors off the hinges.
Oh, no.
And and like they're like screaming for their life, and I'm hearing sirens, and I'm like, whatever. If we're going, we're going. Like, make this worth it, and I did.
Yeah, that's. I get that.
But then the next morning I wake up and now I'm next to this other human being who says she wants to spend the rest of her life with me. And that was just a couple months ago. And
Yeah,
I
and
was
you're like, I don't
sober.
even want to spend the rest of my life
I
with you
know,
like this.
and I
Like,
was
why
like,
do you
why?
even like
Yeah, but
me?
she saw
Yeah.
the you are
She did.
today,
Yeah.
Ronnie.
That's the same one that everybody saw, though.
Yeah.
Even when you were making worse choices, it was still the same soul that we all know and love for
Yeah.
a long time. You know.
I mean, there ain't nobody that I've ever heard that said, man, Ronnie, he's a real piece of shit. I've never heard that, and I've been around a long time.
Yeah.
No one's ever had a bad word to say about you.
Yeah.
Struggles are struggles, but you can't. If you're a shit person, you're a shit person.
Yeah.
Right.
That's just who you are. You could maybe try to change that, but probably not. Some people just are hardwired different. You're a good person, and I've never heard anybody say any different.
Yeah.
You know.
Appreciate it.
I'm so glad that you guys knew each other. That
Yeah.
you guys know each other too.
Yeah, and
You know?
A long
I,
time.
if
Because I
I'm
don't
not
remember how we
mistaken,
brought him up originally. I don't know if you brought it up or I brought it up. Or,
Yeah, we
or-
just-
or I think maybe we both saw
Yeah.
the retro thing.
and yeah, we were just on the same
Stories
page about
and-
it.
Yeah.
Crazy how it unfolded
Yeah.
and how we got to this moment.
Yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
I'm so excited to be here. Like I was telling the guys earlier, is like trying to touch more souls on the dance floor. You know?
I love that.
But you're doing it though,
Yeah,
and
you are.
in such a short time frame too. I mean, it's not like you've been working on yourself for the last 10 years.
Right.
Right.
You know, I mean,
3 years
Bro.
in.
So
Not
when
even-
was
yeah,
that?
like
April Fool's Day will be 3 years.
yeah.
Okay, so that's what we're talking 21 at that point?
Yeah, 21,
Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
So 2021.
Ronnie, that's not a and,
No,
and I
it's a
mean balls
pebble
deep
throwaway.
in a shit time. I mean, COVID, everything.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you had
Ooh, that
every
was
reason.
Heavy, that
got
was
in
heavy
there,
drinking
yeah.
time.
Yeah,
If you're
like-
into anything at that time,
I got in
it's
virtual,
magnifying.
bro.
Yeah.
They didn't even have that's how bad I
Oh, you
wanted
were
this.
going virtual
I was
with it.
virtual. They weren't even
Cool.
letting people in, and I was like, "Yo, man, like I tried everything. I really thought if I didn't make some serious changes, she was gone.
Yeah.
And
Right.
honestly, she was everything.
Everything. So
But-
she's gone and you're still drinking. What do you got, bro? You still got a lot in the world, but you feel in that
Yeah.
moment like you got nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know? So you obviously had some amazing support.
Yeah.
So now that it has been 3 years, are you like one of the OGs around there? Like, are you kind of have a chance for some of these young bucks to come in on like day one?
So I
Like,
love when
do you
people
see any
come
young
in.
Ronnies
Yeah.
where you're like, yep, dude, you're
Yeah.
way closer than you think. I've
Yep.
been in your
Yep.
shoes. Like,
So when
sometimes that's
people
all we
come
need to
in,
hear.
Right.
You know?
When people come in and they're counting days, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go get him, man.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I go in and I, grab
Give
him
him
up.
some
Like, hey,
love.
what's up, man? You know, and like, see, when people were coming up to me and they're like, yeah, I got 20 years, I got 22 years, I got 40 years. I'm like, man, I want that one day, but we don't even speak the same language,
Right.
you know? So when I had somebody just a little bit further than me, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, that's
I could do
achievable.
that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
You know, and like I would latch
can
on
get
to them
there.
for a little bit and like try to see what I can pull out of them. And they're doing the same to me, right?
Yeah.
And like that's the beautiful thing about it is we were both there for like just to help the world in a better place and help each other help the world be a better place, right?
Yeah.
Help me, help you, help us.
Yeah.
And every single time, even like if I was in like the worst mood or whatever, I would leave there and I would process it. And I would go home to my wife and I'd download it on her and she'd spit it back to me in like a different,
Yeah.
tone. I'd be like, oh man, I didn't even pick that up. Like what? You
Yeah.
know, and it was like I got it twice.
Right.
And then, I feel like all that stuff was so necessary for those building blocks. So I didn't share earlier is that if we would have went through with having the children, then she would have died on the table giving birth, and I would have been an alcoholic father of possibly twins or triplets.
You got the chills again.
And so I
Life
didn't
is
understand
wild,
it then,
bro.
but I was like, God, man, like I was working, so she was like, okay, I'm going to get an abortion, and I was like, no, you're not,
Brother, I had to
Like,
crush you.
and I was like, what? I'm like, what happened? Like, what? Like, this will ever, like, I might not ever get this opportunity ever again. Like, I got goosebumps. So I'm like, whoa. And my world turned upside down. Now, if I was drinking heavy, it was flowing. It was flowing, and I ran. And I ran hard, and I ran fast. And it was just a vicious cycle. And she was so fed up that she was going to have some girl at some job that she just started working at, bring her, a stranger, to go get rid of our babies. And I'm like, no, you're not. Like, first off, I'm going to bring you, I'm going to hold your hand like the real man that I am. Whether I agree with you or not, I'm not going to go and put a show on. I'm going to stand there. I'm going to rub your back, and I'm going to hold you, and I'm going to say, I love you. You know, that's the right thing to do. I don't agree with it, but we're not going to go put a show on there. You know, we got into this together, and if this is the route you want to go, I'm going to support you. You know, and that took, man, I remember just going in there, and they had these weird pictures on the wall, and it was like supporting, like, you know, like abortions. And I'm like, man, like, how did I end up here? And it was all necessary. All that evil was necessary. All those knots that I was receiving while being there, it was all made me to who I am today, you know?
That had to put you in a dark spot, though. Bro, I could only imagine. I mean, nobody knows this. You shared something, I'll share something. We were told we couldn't have kids. We pop up pregnant. We have my beautiful son, who I'll still refer to as a miracle, 3 kids later because we were told we couldn't have kids. Fast forward a couple months, Mare pops up pregnant again. Goes to the doctor. We're pregnant. We're having a baby. A couple weeks later, she lost the baby. Now, bro, that fucking hurt. But I get, like, how shitty that feels. Now, we lost it, but you're sitting there and you're doing something. You're watching her go through something that you don't agree with. Yeah. I can only imagine how fucking dark that got, because I know how dark I felt and how alone I felt hearing that we lost what I thought was another blessing. You know, it's fucking...
It was awful. It was the worst kind of awful. Like, you know, that's all I ever dreamt of being since I was a kid. And when anyone ever asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, a husband and a dad, you know? Like,
but that's also because, now let's give your father, Big Ron, some credit, too. That's because you had a great role model in him, you know? I mean, you had a great father.
Yeah. Yep, still do.
Oh, yeah. But you had a great example of the father as you were growing up. I mean,
when you were young, that's probably where that Superman vibe came from. Like, you thought Superman was living under your roof. I mean, that's how I was with, with my dad when I was a kid. Like, I think a lot of kids have that innate thing that, like, their dad is just, like, the strongest, the best.
Oh, yeah. I used to, like tease people, like, yo, my dad's gonna come over and beat your dad's ass.
Yeah, I used to always say my dad's got bigger muscles than your dad, and he did. But, I was a lion.
I wish I got a little bit of his height. You know, my mom's 4'10". My mom's Spanish. My father's, 6'2", 250. He's in best shape of his life, and he's, like, all-American, like, football player in high school. He won best looking his senior year. Like, what happened to me, man?
Dude.
Like, I saw him a couple weeks ago. He still looks like he's, like, the best looking and in the greatest shape of his life.
Yeah, I was asking my dad. Well, I was asking you, too, but I asked my dad first. I'm like, hey, do you see a guy on kettlebells doing handstands? He's like, no. I'm like, all right, you're definitely going to notice this guy. But I'm like, he wrestled with me when we were kids. I'm like, if you just so happen to find him at Retro, like, just go up to him and just tell him that you're my dad. So,
I would know.
So now all the time, you remember him from back in the day.
I remember for sure.
He still looks so similar. He had quadruple bypass.
Oh, wow.
And that kind of got him to kind of shift up the diet a little bit. And he always worked as a blue-collar carpenter, so he's always physically fit, but never went to the gym. But now he loves it. He goes around, he does his farmer walks. He tells me he does these farmer walks for like a half hour. Wow. He's like, he's got his boys at the gym. But
he's got a little crew over there.
Yeah, that gym community feel.
That's huge.
Like, I felt that feel when we were at Leaks last week, and there were literally 5 people.
Yeah.
But it's like 5 people getting after it. You have that community with AA. I personally used to tell myself when I first stopped drinking that if I hear one person's story about Miller Lights, I'm going to Connolly Station. So, like, I kind of built this thing in my head, like, not to go.
Yeah.
I think now, when I went and saw a therapist when I was all depressed, I went to, like, 3 sessions. By the 3rd session, she goes, I think that you should go to AA so you have, like, a community of people around you. So I think that now that I'm older, like, I would like to walk in and be able to help
Ronnie.
to be able to help some of these young bucks. But when I was 29,
oh man, it's the best feeling.
Yeah, but like when I was 29, I wasn't thinking that way. Right. I was like, yo, I got a calendar, I got a Sharpie, and we're going one day at a time here. Yeah. Like, I didn't drink yesterday. I haven't drank today so far. Like, we're good now. And then you flip it. And then you flip it.
That's one of those things you
But
gotta
I
have
would have
short-term
loved
goals.
to have somebody like you had there where I was like, hey, dude, like, how are you feeling like 3 weeks in?
Yeah.
Like, I was lost, on a longboard skateboard in Belmar.
I was so lost. I was so empty. When I said an empty shell of a man, I thought I possessed all these characteristic traits my whole life. I did not.
Yeah.
I was immature.
Right. No
Undisciplined,
self-awareness, or accountability might have been lacking.
And that's what I love, these different things is like, just right here, we're keeping each other accountable, right? And that's what's so cool about it. And there's so many different ways that we can spin life. And, you can, like you said, if you're looking for bad things in life, you'll find them.
Oh, yeah.
But you don't dwell there, right? And like I tell people all the time is you got to get from A to B, morning to night. And how you go about it is all on you.
Yep.
It's whatever you're doing up here. But what happens during the day, that's the world. That's the universe. And you just got to kind of bob and weave, you know?
Bob and weave. It's not going to be perfect.
No.
And we're not going to be perfect. Like, we're not robots.
No.
And we won't appreciate the sunshine without the storms.
100%.
Billy and I have talked about that plenty, but sometimes the storms are coming throughout the day. Like, my biggest problem over the years, which I've gotten a lot better at, is letting a few down moments throughout the day dictate like the rest of my day. Like, I saw something that broke down like the seconds in a day or something. I think it was like 84,000 seconds. Yeah, so like, why let like 60 seconds dictate 84,000 seconds?
I mean,
it is.
You break down the
it's
math
powerful.
like that.
I know.
I had somebody break down math. So I was talking earlier. I do a lot of self growth books, and I just got through Young Pueblo's. Like he wrote 3 different books, Clarity, and just like re-tapping into like all these different like numbers. Like I said, 30,000 people died. This morning.
You saw that in that book?
I saw it in that book. So and that's what it's. I'm just pulling different things out of there, and it's so interesting. So there's this one book, and it's called Max Life or whatever it is. But one of the things in there was like tapping out. My brain's all over the place.
Nah, you're cool, bro. Listen, we're freestyling here. It's judgment-free zone. We're good.
So and it's just like he breaks down life to where, okay, how many years do you spend sleeping? How many years do you spend at work? How many years?
Yeah.
And they break it down, and they said your average lifespan is 79, I think it was. A human being right now is 79. You subtract all those years of sleeping, working, whatever.
You don't have much left.
8 years to do whatever you want. When you think about it like that, you're like, man, I got to get moving.
Right.
It's like, whoa.
Right, a little bit more sense of
8 years
urgency
out of
there.
79?
It's kind of like
what have I done today?
A light switch goes off, and you're like, fuck, we got to get it.
Yeah,
I mean, moving.
I know. Like, when I talk about like the life book, so basically, Billy started chapter 39. I started chapter 38. You're 36, you said?
34.
34?
Yeah, yes,
So,
sir.
so 38, so 38 right here. Okay, 38. Now, 79 is average. Ronnie said earlier, Busket hit me on the way out of here, bro. So, how much time do I really have left?
Right.
I start to get a little bit of animosity, or like my gut kind of hurts a little bit when I hear some of the things that other people will say as far as like the day's almost over, or what's today, Wednesday?
Yeah.
Oh, it's Wednesday. We're almost at Friday, bro. 38 years, 52 weeks in a year. How many Fridays have I already had? How many Fridays do I have left? But the other side of that is, how many fucking Tuesdays do we have left?
Right.
How many Wednesdays? How many Thursdays?
Yeah.
Why are we in a rush for Friday?
What the fuck did you
Let's
do today
stay
that
right
you're so
here,
proud of?
right
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Let's stay right here, right now. And then we'll get to Thursday.
Have you always been like that, though?
No, dude. I don't know what the fuck's been happening to me lately, dude. I don't know what's been happening to me lately.
Because for me,
I spent 37 and 3/4 years fucking insecure trying to figure my shit out.
No, but I mean like looking at like Friday, because everybody I know is holding out for Friday, just trying to make it through Monday through Thursday.
Well, that's been a while. 100% commission-based sales
that's
job.
what I was going to say.
I've been out of that Friday thing for a while.
That's what I was going to say, because for me and you,
Yeah.
it's the same. I'm still working Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah.
It
Monday
just doesn't change.
Monday has been a suck day for a lot of people, especially if you're drinking and watching football all day Sunday and eating like shit.
Yep.
Monday sucks. My friend, who's a financial advisor up in Massachusetts, one of my college wrestling roommates, he's all about Monday morning. He's like, and he would call me on Mondays, send me messages. We're starting the fucking week, baby. Let's go get this. Let's go get
That's
it. And I'm
powerful
like,
stuff, man.
yeah, dude,
Yeah,
Monday,
yeah.
let's get this.
Yeah, but it takes
Monday.
one person like that to get you fucking going. So like this morning in the gym, I didn't work out today. My back's bothering me. My dad fell. I had to pick him up, and I just strained myself a little bit. But I wanted to be there to support Eugene, Emily. So like Eugene's putting in some work, and I'm standing there like, and I'm yelling at him to motivate him. Like, let's go. You got this. Like, whatever. And you need that. Like. And I feel like today we're shying away from stuff like that. Like I was watching CT Fletcher the other night on YouTube. It's not.
It depends who's around you and what circles. Because at one point have felt like that, but now that I'm surrounded by you and like all these other people,
that's the thing.
You just started golfing, and then somebody else will roll up who's never golfed before. I forgot who it was. You were giving them pointers on the golf course.
Johnny Ryan when we went out with Johnny.
Ryan, okay. I last week tried 4 times in a row to hit that 5-foot box jump. If I was by myself, I wouldn't have got it.
Yeah. Wow.
You kept saying, we got this, we got this, we got this. And finally, I was like, all right, dude.
But that's
I'm
what
gonna
we
go for it
need.
again.
Yeah.
That's what we need as men.
Yeah. So, but I think
That's a healthy
I
pride
think
and
a lot
ego.
of I think a lot of the world does fall into that selfish nature. But I think there's a lot of these. What are those Venn diagrams with the circles?
Yeah.
I think there's more Venn diagrams for these people that might feel a little bit lonely that are right there.
Yeah.
Okay, we have common ground here. We have common ground here. You like this. Okay, this could help me. I lack here.
Yeah.
So like it's there, and I don't know what's been going on with me lately, but between the energy frequencies, like they would always call me Positive Pete. Other people's energy would rattle me. Yeah. Now I don't really let other people's energy rattle me too much. I stay where I'm at. Right. And if your energy kind of ain't where I'm at, then I'm not going down. Yeah. Right. I'm staying where I'm at. And if anything, it does piss me off, and I kind of find another elevated level. And now I'm gonna compliment you when you're trying to be down. And now I'm actually gonna proactively try to pull you up.
Well, that's how
instead
Nate
of
does
just going
things.
down. I think Nate has helped me a lot.
And so later in life, I've put a lot of, and I love everybody I was friends with growing up. I absolutely adore them. I talk to the same people. My best friend, my first friend, was Bobby Aparicio. I talked to him 3 times today.
Good.
I rushed him off the phone a few times because I had some shit going on. But
I haven't seen him in years.
Yeah, the whole clan.
Like, my people are still my people, but later in life, you have to adapt. Like Bobby don't have kids. My cousin Mark doesn't have kids. So like I've added Petey. I've added my man Nate. I've added my buddy Scott, my neighbor Kevin, who I've gotten really close with. And it's like you said, it takes a village, right? So like that little diagram, I take a little here, a little there, but like Nate's influence has been awesome. Your influence has been awesome. But where, I've aligned myself with like-minded people, like the motivation, like Robbie Leaks is going to tell me at a high decibel, like, let's get it. If I'm slowing down, just like I will with you.
That's why I love the fact that you're able to absorb what Robbie tells you and also put that on somebody else. Right. Because that dude that hasn't been in the gym in 5 years, he needed you today. He needed you today, bro. He needed you to wake up, but he also needed you to say, yo, you got this.
Yeah, and you know what? You kind of needed that too, right?
I did, right?
That's the other thing, and that's where the nice thing with AA is too, because you said that that's such a rewarding feeling.
So rewarding.
Now, I don't feel personally like I've ever longed for that specific to AA because I get that in coaching wrestling.
Yeah, see,
so like
that's
the
cool.
same thing that you have with those guys,
you're getting that here
I get
too,
with
though.
these kids, and it's like
it's at different times.
that
it's
keeps
not in
you
that
going.
Moment, it's like when you need it the most too, and it's like, hey, remember what you said last week? And now I'm like I'm in a shit mood this week, and it's like, man, I want to tell you that it was everything I needed to hear. I was going through it, and I just wanted to die, man. And you gave me purpose, and it's like, whoa. Yeah. It's like, man, like, I feel like I want to die today, and like you just all you did was just say I helped you, and like now I'm boom back at it.
Well, it's a circle. So like I throw a hand up.
Right.
That hand's coming back, bro. It's coming back. Yeah. That's it. And Petey has pulled me up more times than I could count. I mean, he's been around for a lot of my dad's health issues, and I talk to Pete every day. And I don't even have to say, like, Pete, things are fucked up. I'm really struggling. Whether he does or he doesn't, just the conversations, the tone of our conversation brings me back. Yeah. It's a distraction. It's positive. It's not all that negative shit that's going on in the world.
That stuff's contagious, bro.
Yeah. See how quick you switch it? It's like now if you can learn how to tap into that,
Yeah.
you know, you're in a bad mood and it's like, boom, that quick, you know, now you just taught yourself, hey, I can switch this.
Yeah.
You know, like, I don't have to feel like this forever.
Yeah.
And, like, you know, then you find ways to tap into that. And it's through things like this that we learn.
Exactly. So when you did that 2 a day, like last week, I think it was last week, right? So you didn't get really any sleep the night before.
Yeah.
Right? I think you put that in the post.
4 hours.
Was there
3
something?
hours.
Was there something in particular that was going on? Is that something that, like, are you getting that 2 a day in certain days?
No. So
or is it like hey, I got it in this morning? Because I'm kind of asking double sided because I've been double dipping with the plunge sometimes.
Yeah.
So I'll get it in the morning.
Yeah.
I'll feel a certain type of way. I get back in. You know. So like. Is the double dip in the gym something that you got premeditated, or is that like, yo, I something's festering here?
Yeah,
I got to get right.
So last week, the girl I'm dating, her dog for
that's right.
would be 12 years in a couple of weeks. We just had to put her down Monday. So all last week I did 13,600 steps from the living room here to like a little bit further where Emily's
just panic pacing?
Just panic pacing, like running. Yo, this dog wasn't eating anything. I spent like $500 on the best kinds of meats. Everything
And
you
nothing.
can imagine,
Still
steaks.
nothing.
She just wouldn't. And, you know, and like, you know, she just got back from the hospital for 3 days. And my girl's a mess, dude. My girl went through, she's wonderful, and she went through a divorce, and then through, like, you know, her healing and my healing, somehow our paths crossed.
Isn't that crazy how it
which is
works
so
like
crazy
that?
because, like, I was done dating after, like, my in-laws were like, hey, you know, you should try it out. And
I remember when
was
we were
like,
talking about that a while ago.
I felt so guilty, and I'm like, but I felt like something in me. I was like, my time was running out. Like, I'm like, I just want to be a dad, man. Like, and I'm not like trying to be a dad tomorrow or with the wrong person, but I got to start somewhere, right? So I was like, all right, so I'm gonna try this dating thing again. And people are weird out there, man. You know, like,
Oh, dude, swiping left,
you know,
swiping
so
right.
I'm like, 34, 33. I'm like, and I'm like, we're
Why,
all
what
like
are you looking for,
20-year-olds.
older or
And then I'm
younger?
like, wait.
I'm 34.
I'm like,
That's what I was thinking. Like, which way you swiping, bro?
I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
And that was like a big impact. And I'm like, oh, man, like, this is what I'm working with? And I'm like, yeah, no wonder they're fucking singles. You know? So next thing I know, it was like, boom, boom, boom. I was on 3 apps, dude. And I was I was like, done, bro.
Straight
I was
multitasking.
done. I went on a couple of dates, and, like, girls are just out. You're like, okay, I get it. I know how you're single now, so like, you know, I get it. You
Didn't
know?
take long to figure it out.
So I'm like, all right, you know, and there's all these like, oh man, it was a nightmare. So finally, when her and I clicked, we matched on 3 sites within like an hour.
Okay.
And I wrote to her something witty, and I was so exhausted at this point, and I was like, if you don't work, I'm done. You know, like,
wow.
I'm
And she's
done.
probably like, yo, I'm feeling the same,
She
homie.
was like, yo, like, same.
Yeah, let's delete these apps.
Let's try this for real.
Okay.
And I was like, all right. I'm
like
like,
it.
man, I'm like, it says you're less than 1 mile away from me. Like, what? Like, are you in
better.
my backyard? Like, who are you?
Mommy got his steps in to go see.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's like, you know, she
Jogged
knew
over.
of me, you know, she's a little younger. She knew of me.
Everybody
And,
knows around here.
Cool. That's awesome.
I
How long ago was that?
This was we're together about 1.5 years now. So it was about a year since my wife had passed that I started like kind of, you know,
Yeah.
getting back out there.
Well, she
Yeah,
would
see
want
what
you
was
to,
going
and
down.
she would want you to find
Your
happiness.
in-laws, everybody,
yeah.
dude.
You
You
can't
weren't
isolate
supposed
forever.
to. Your journey's not supposed to just be
Yeah.
lonely from here on out,
Yeah.
bro. You know.
So, you know, it was a difficult thing, and she was so great about it, man. You know, my wife's birthday, November 16th. We had just started talking like 2 months before that, and you know, she was so great. Like my in-laws, we used to well, I mean, she was alive for all the other years. We'd go to her house and, you know, sing happy birthday. And last year she had just passed, or the year prior to meeting Irene, she had just passed, Sarah, my wife, and so Irene's like, hey, if you're not going to your in-laws to sing happy birthday, like, get your ass in the car. We're going to go get a cake, and we're going to sing her happy birthday.
Oh,
and I was like, yo, I was like, what?
That's
like,
amazing.
And she's like, this is what we're going to do every year from now on.
Good.
And I was like,
Bro, that's dope.
Holy shit.
That's
man, I was
fucking
like,
dope.
Again.
and I was like, all right. And, you know, and like, you know what she's taught me? Is that the world, and I need to learn this so bad, man. It's like the world is not going to be the way Ronnie Strangio is going to be to the world. And that gets me in so much trouble, I'll tell you, because like I'm so much to throw myself out there to help somebody or be kind and like, you know, try to just be the best version of myself. And when it's not reciprocated,
You don't
I'm
always
like,
get it back.
I'm like, huh.
Yeah.
Like, what did I do? What did I do? It's not what I did.
Yeah,
at
Billy
all.
and I can relate to that a
Yeah.
lot.
You know? And that gets me in so much trouble.
But that's
Right.
on us. I've said this, and
Yeah.
we'd agree. It's on us we're givers, right? So
Yeah.
like, and I mean, I'll say it. I struggle a lot. So like my way, like you said, I had to be there for Eugene. I find a lot of comfort for me in helping.
Yeah, 100%.
So like, but I don't ever set that healthy boundary. Like, not that I ever expect in return,
Right.
but just don't do me dirty.
Yeah.
Don't make me regret it. Just
Compartmentalize,
be
what's
appreciative.
that?
Yeah,
It
like,
hurts. It just stings when you're giving, and it's either
Yeah.
being taken for granted, not reciprocated, whatever.
So you know
it
what
may
made me
be.
a better human being, honestly? The book 5 Languages of Love by Dr. Gary Chapman. And what it really taught me is that there's 5 different ways, right? 5 different dialects that we all receive or give love. And it made me a better human being. It made me a better, you know, boyfriend. It made me a better brother. It made me a better son. It made me a better manager. It made me a better everything, you know? Just realizing that, and as I was kind of going off Irene, is she taught me that everyone's different, you know? And like, you know, there's always going to be like so many perspectives, right? And if you don't like the perspective that you're seeing something through, change your perspective.
Yep.
And I was like, whoa, you know, like what, you let that, and you don't really know what that means until you're in it again. And then you're like, okay. And then that's why now, like, through reading and through things like this and conversations and just helping people or hearing people's stories or whatever it is, I try to get soak as much of this stuff up as I can so I can spit it back to more people, you know? And that's what it comes down to.
well, you're sharing the word, right?
amazing.
So like you picked up on something that helps you.
Yeah.
I picked up on something that helps me, Petey.
Yeah.
And I mean, we're sitting here, we're sharing
Collectively.
a little bit with everybody. I got a little bit, you got a little bit. Bro, that's what it's all about.
That's what it's all about.
We're all on a fact-finding mission. You know, it's
100%.
kind of like being
And
in
it's
school
okay.
again, and I'm just studying
Right.
for tomorrow how to deal with
Yeah.
the shit that's coming.
Yeah.
For sure.
That's it.
For sure.
Yep.
So I was kind of asking you a little bit about religion, and like
Yeah.
what you were talking about was like similar. Like I had, CCD coming up, and different things like that. But it was like, dude, I used to have football Sunday mornings, and it was like Sunday school. Like,
Yeah.
dude, I wouldn't do the work. Like I wouldn't read. Like I hated going there. Like I just didn't. I liked going to church with my mom. Though.
Yeah.
My mom and I used to go to church, and I really liked that. I really found peace in there.
So
And then,
sorry.
so I was going to say, so then when my brother-in-law died, we were not far from here at all.
No.
And whoever this individual was basically ripping on him. And he's such a sweet soul, such a kind soul. And he basically went to the church to try to get some answers, and he needed some help. And we're all there, and ordained minister, priest, whatever you want to call this guy, it was so bad that they actually called like the archdiocese on this guy.
Oh, wow.
It was that bad. Like I didn't, but somebody
Really?
else that was there actually did. So for me personally, that was like the last straw. And
Right.
like there was a lot of other things
Oh,
that were
yeah.
going on in my
The sour
mind,
taste
and
in your mouth.
hearing about all these things that just didn't sit well with
Right.
me, and and for me that was the last straw.
Yeah.
But what happened there was I like completely lost like all spiritual connection, and like that kind of put me on like this lonely, depressed island.
Right.
So lady at work, Gina, she gave me this book called Two Chairs, and it's a two-way conversation, and she's Christian. It's a two-way conversation basically between you and God, and it's not like, I remember my prayers used to be like the night before a wrestling match, like please help me win.
Right.
And this book in particular like really helped me just have a two-way conversation with God.
Right.
I haven't been actively going to church or anything, but these conversations are now on the daily. And I think I told you about the prayer plunge.
Yeah.
Like now
Yeah,
I just
it's cool.
bring it into the plunge and like I just find my gratitude right there. So I really dumbed it down yesterday and today. Okay. So yesterday I dumbed it down to the point like little things that we take for granted, myself included. Like I always talk about my family and different things like that. And it's pretty much similar on the daily. But yesterday I really dumbed it down and I said like, thank you for the roof over our head. Like, thank you for the clothes on our back,
Yes.
the food in our belly, our health. We could breathe. I can walk. Like, dude, dumbed it down, right?
Yep.
So that happened yesterday. And about an hour later, I was driving down Route 9 North, basically right here. A car goes flying up. It basically turns into a BMX ramp, one of those dividers. The car completely flipped over. And I was on the northbound side of 9. This happened on the southbound side. And the telephone pole landed the light post landed about 5 feet in front of me.
Wow.
And I look over, and this vehicle is completely upside down. So I don't even hesitate. Meanwhile, like, I'm thinking about all this stuff last night. I couldn't go to sleep. Dude, I was up to 1 o'clock last night thinking about all this shit. So I jumped the divider. I didn't even look at oncoming traffic.
Oh, that's who you're talking
I
about.
called 911.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm on the phone with 911 as I'm opening the door, and some woman is screaming, and I don't know what she's saying. So 911 is trying to talk to me, and I'm like, why are you yelling? Like, he's out. We got him out. The guy literally, this image will never leave my mind. I open the door. This guy is upside down with his seatbelt on, talking to me. So I open the door, get the seatbelt out. The guy walks out of the vehicle, walks into the ambulance, a little cut on his finger, nothing bad. Maybe it was like a paper cut, maybe it was the glass. But I left. Some of the cops came up to me and they're like, was he? I was like, no, it wasn't me. Like, I'm fine. Like, everything's fine. But I left there and it was like, dang, between like that immense gratitude prayer, almost having this light post hit me, not knowing what I was about to see in this vehicle. I mean, there's glass everywhere, the windshield.
Right.
This car was freaking mangled. I sent you the picture.
Yeah.
I mean, mangled. And this guy's just upside down with his seatbelt on. And I'm like, life is so precious, bro.
It makes you
we
realize.
don't know when.
Yeah.
So stop stressing.
Yeah.
Stop worrying about Friday, man.
Yeah.
Embrace
No.
Wednesday.
Yes.
It makes you
freaking
realize.
240.
Yeah.
What about that?
And you have
Fuck
to.
Sunday.
Yeah, fuck
What are you talking about
gotta-
Sunday for?
Nah, we ain't there yet.
Let's
got a lot more
enjoy
work to do.
today.
Yes, sir.
That makes you realize how thankful you have to be in
Yeah,
some type of higher power. Whatever you believe in, that's on you. Now, listen, I grew up
bigger than
Catholic.
yourself.
Yeah, I grew up Catholic. I grew up in a Catholic church. I went to Catholic school. Bro, today, I'll say I'm still a Catholic, but I'm not going to church.
Yeah.
I have my relationship with God on my terms.
That's
I can
cool.
talk
I
to
like
him in
that.
the car. I can talk to him in my backyard.
Yeah.
I can talk to him while I'm riding my fucking BMX bike
Anyway,
that I
yeah.
finally
For
got.
me personally, there's been way more benefit to me actively seeking it. Gina gave me that book, 2 Chairs. She knew I was hurting.
Yeah.
She's my friend. She's the secretary over there. I talk to her all the time. I would cry to her when I was hurting. She handed me that darn book, man, and just page by page. My other friend Trevor handed me a book, The Power of One More.
Wow.
You know, Ed Milet.
Oh yeah, that's the
Bangers.
Max Out.
Yeah.
I knew I was
Bangers.
gonna say Ed Milet.
Bro, so Ed Milet's dad was an alcoholic, and Ed Milet used to say,
Yeah.
hey, Dad, are you going to not drink forever? He said, I don't know, son, but I'm not going to drink today.
Yep.
One more day.
Yeah.
One
Yep.
more rep. One more call. One more text. And, like, that stuff really, really hit me. But I feel like Ronnie and I, and a lot of people, especially, and definitely the people watching,
Right.
like, it's not perfect. There's something about these tough moments that get you scrambling for answers.
Yep.
Like, that's when we're at our best.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
shoot, my friends called me. It's time to stop drinking.
Yeah.
Okay, well, there's nothing to think
Right.
about. My friends gave me the call. I got the 2-month-old at home. Okay, it's time.
Right.
I wasn't talking. The other side of my brain didn't come in and say, "Yo, dude, party Pete,
Yeah.
do some backflips,
Yeah,
bro." Like
yeah,
that.
yeah.
That wasn't even. I wasn't there. My mind shifted towards something else. Your mind has had to shift plenty of times, and I was literally picturing the picture that you posted, looking straight, shredded wheat.
Yeah, bro.
But I also was picturing when he was telling me he was 250.
Yeah.
And now all I'm thinking is that anyone, what are you, 5'6", 5'7"?
5'7". My
Bro, if
license
you're
is 5'9".
5'7", if you're 5'6", 250 right now, check out my boy Ronnie.
Yeah.
It don't have to stay like that
Achievable.
forever.
So anybody who's like heavy in the gym, I go up to him, right up to him, boom. I'm like, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
And they're like, yo, they're like cheesing. I'm like, everyone's giving them people dirty looks, but you know that they're the ones in here that are working the hardest right now. They're outworking everybody.
Yeah, but they need that motivation and inspiration from you because looking at you, no one realizes that was you.
Yeah, they just think it's just. Oh yeah, this guy he just looks this way all the time.
It's a failure, man.
Yeah. I don't look like you, and I don't look like you.
But you got abs now.
I got something. I got something.
Okay,
but I also don't look the way I did. I don't look the way I did 8 months ago. So like, just telling somebody like, good job. Like I was in your shoes a little while ago. There's light at the end of the tunnel. Let's fucking go. Like,
let's do it together.
People need that shit, bro. Like, and that's the whole point of this. Like. I don't feel like I'm alone anymore.
No.
Like
we're gonna go to the top and we're gonna go do it together.
Yeah, and everybody needs that. I'm not trying to give anybody a handout. Like, let's get a hand up. Let's figure it out together. You know,
I don't have all the answers, but me and you, let's have.
But
a
I might have
open-minded to what's working for you.
So I might have one answer. You might have one, and you might have one.
Right.
Now we got 3 answers.
Yeah.
So I don't have it all, but we can build enough network that we'll figure it the fuck out.
For sure.
We've got 2 people that wrote in with questions.
Oh, no way.
Shit.
One of them is like kind of in line with that. So
We know that could happen.
Yeah, we mentioned it last week.
I'll put it in the group chat and you can read it from
All right, go ahead.
All right, cool. Go for it, Billy.
I'll send the first one first.
I'm staying away from my
Hold
phone
on, did
during
you
this.
just send it to me?
I just sent it, yeah.
All right, guys. So we got our first write-in. I'm gonna read it and we'll get some feedback.
Pretty cool.
Yo, Ev?
This is exciting for us, guys.
This is big.
Hey guys, I'm 35, married, no kids.
Okay.
I've been wanting to get back into shape and go to the gym, but have serious anxiety about it. I've gotten soft thanks to a desk job, drinking after work, mixing in some weed, the whole 9. And now I'm anxious about taking the first step.
Yeah.
Any advice would be appreciated. Here's my advice. Don't wait.
Yeah.
Because
Good
for
you
me,
for reaching out.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you for that.
when
Proud of you,
I
man.
started getting back into shape and going back to the gym, I walked into Leaks Fitness. I talked to Robbie. I get in there. Now me and him are really close. And he always says, people always say, I'll call you when I'm ready to get back into it. I'm not ready to do this now. Just take the fucking step.
Yeah.
I took the step.
Yes.
I'm a little over a year in or 11 months in consistently going to the gym. I feel amazing. My life is better and I got a much different perspective. And I'll extend the offer. You want to come get a workout in? Come with me. Come with Pete. We'll bring Ronnie. Whatever.
Yeah,
Let's
Ronnie's
fucking
retro
get
if you
it.
need. Billy's at
Just take the step. And that's my opinion. That's my answer
And
on
you
it.
don't need
love
a
it.
gym. And like I try to tell people this all the time. You don't need to do 20 push-ups, man. If you got 1 in you and you got to do them from your knees, then that's what we're going to do
Start today.
Yeah, we're going to start doing that until you got enough wind to do 2. Like people are like, oh wow, you did all these handstands and these push-ups. Like I didn't come out of the womb doing that.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know how many failures it took?
This question, that was amazing timing.
Yeah, it's
This
perfect.
question, I think we're all going to have a slightly different answer, but I think this question hits right to 250-pound Ronnie.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So take us back. You're 250. You're probably fucking anxious. You're
So
beating
anxious.
yourself up. Like, I'm
So
a
hard on
fucking
myself.
loser. I shouldn't look like this. I'm an athlete under here. I got more in
How
me.
did my life get
got more
here?
fight. What happened, dude? Like, what'd you?
I wanted something
just
bigger.
go
I wanted
in?
something better. I was like,
But like, where'd you go? Retro?
I started just working out at the house, doing videos, and I was doing yoga a lot. I have like 3
Nice.
herniated discs.
Yeah.
my L4,
Yoga's
my
huge.
L5,
I'm
my
starting to
sacrum.
realize that.
They're on top of each other.
Yeah.
So like I got into I was lifting heavier when I was younger. I was doing steroids. I was doing all this. I was always putting stuff into my body.
You were running
know?
again.
Yeah, I was running. You know, and like it wasn't one way or it was another, right? And like even like the steroids, okay, yeah, they're great. You know, like. But if you break them down, you know, I was still masking who I really was, you know, and that was my biggest challenge is like, who am I? You know, for 33 years, I didn't know who I was until like this last year and a half, 2 years,
bless.
you know, and I'm still learning who I am, you know, through these conversations, I learn more about
How
myself.
long did it take you to get back in a rhythm in the gym?
In the beginning, I was just like, I need something. How bad do you want it?
Yeah.
You know, like you gotta want it. If somebody said more than their next breath of fresh air, and
I
that hit
agree
home
with
for
that,
me.
though, 'cause
and I
for
was
me-
like, you know what? I need to do this. It's not like I want this. Like,
For me, I know how I am, the person I am.
Yeah.
And I knew that for it to be sustainable, I needed to be in an environment like I'm at Leaks, where it's kind of a private one-on-one session.
Yeah, you're in a great
where
spot.
I have incredible accountability there.
Yeah.
But I had to prove the model to myself that I wasn't going to waste anybody's time.
Right.
I got up every day for 30 days. I went to LA Fitness at 5:15 every morning.
So you almost pre-gamed for Leaks.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did.
Wow.
Okay.
But it wasn't me putting off going to the gym. It was
No,
me
it was
proving
like
that it
anything.
was sustainable for me.
Right.
Wow.
Now,
Make
I knew
sure.
ultimately I wanted to wind up in Leaks Fitness, but I needed to start. And
Right.
I needed to start immediately.
Starting.
I couldn't keep talking about it. We'll do it tomorrow. Now, for me, it's a little different. I got 3 kids at my house. Me sitting down trying to do push-ups at my house or sit-ups or whatever it is, I'm going to have 3 kids jumping on me.
Yeah.
Daddy, daddy, dad. So I had to get out of the house for it.
Right.
I wasn't going to go run 5 miles with Petey. That was for fucks. For damn sure that wasn't happening. But I proved that I could do it. I got where I'm comfortable. And today, I'm not saying I'm a leader. I'm not saying I'm an example. But I'm reaching out to people I see and bringing them in. And Robbie welcomes them with open arms to his boot camp classes. And if we get some people back into a rhythm, I've found immense mental health support and benefit just in the gym alone.
That's
Yeah.
perfect.
That has been the number one addition to my mental health and my physical, obviously. But to the person who wrote that question, I implore you to reach out to me. I will get to the gym with you, or we could just go for a fucking walk at the reservoir.
gonna say-
Let's just get moving.
I was
Yeah.
going to say,
Yeah.
yeah, start with a walk. Ronnie said go from A to B.
That's it.
So A was you contacted us.
Yep.
B was you're going to do something proactive either today
Yeah.
or tomorrow.
Take an action step.
Yeah. And then maybe it's a walk. Maybe it's some jumping jacks. Don't paint this picture of something that's not sustainable
Right.
either.
Yeah.
Don't go to the gym today and try to find your absolute max and be so sore that you're not going back
You
for the next 3 to
have
4
to
days.
take it easy.
So people
Yeah.
have been hitting me up
Yeah.
as of late
Right.
to live a little bit of a healthier lifestyle. And some of the things that I would say is, okay, start with the walk and just start with a walk. It doesn't have to be far. It doesn't have to be fast.
Right.
But just go for a walk. And then I have a little bit of a breakdown of a daily thing that once you start checking all those daily boxes, now we could add to it a little bit.
Yep.
So that might look a little bit different for everybody depending on your body type. But knee push-ups, like you said, just do 10. 10 knee push-ups. Try to plank. Try to plank for 15, 20 seconds. Jumping jacks. High knees.
Yeah.
And just kind of
Stay in the
modify
moment.
it for your body type. And like
Yeah.
you said that you had some certain parts of your body were jacked up. All right, so let's avoid those.
Right.
Let's make sure we get our heart rate up, and let's make sure that whatever we do today, we're going to be able to either do the same thing tomorrow, or maybe we could add maybe we could add one more rep tomorrow.
Right.
Maybe we do
Yeah.
11 push-ups tomorrow.
Yep.
But
And
like-
the next day we do 12. And before you know it, you blink your eyes, 3 years pass, and now you look like a freaking Greek goddess.
Yeah.
And it's like,
standing on your hands
yeah,
on half
it's
a
doing
ball.
freaking
man.
handstands.
I would never believe you.
Like
if you
Petey
said that.
said, do not overexert yourself in the beginning. Take small bites until you figure it out.
Yeah.
Work into it. Build up your stamina, build up your strength, because you will get hurt if you push yourself
Yeah.
too hard, or you're going to hurt yourself just on being sore,
Yeah.
and you're not going to go back.
For sure.
It's not going to feel great, but you don't want it to feel miserable.
Yeah.
And by the time you get into a rhythm, that soreness, that stiffness, that ache that comes with recovery is going to feel good.
Yeah.
And just be careful where you're currently at. You got the desk job, you got the alcohol, you got the weight on,
But
you
he's
got
aware
the
of
weed.
it.
Yeah.
You got the weed. So like you got all those going.
Small
currently.
modifications.
None of those things are going to get you to where you want to be
Right.
if you continue
Right.
on the daily. You're literally just going to get further away, and it's vicious on your mind. Like
Yeah.
I feel for you.
Yeah.
But
I
that's why I
appreciate you
said
reaching
you
in,
gotta
do
but I feel
something.
for you. Like I
Yeah.
feel
Proud
for
of
you.
you. Yeah.
I'm super proud of you for
Super
reaching
proud
out.
of
But
you.
I feel for you. Our
It's a
brains
huge
are
step.
powerful. you know, they could either work with us or work against us. 100%. And when they're working against us, man, it seems like they're putting a lot more work in than when they're working with us. Yep. You know, that downward avalanche, that negative spiral, whatever you want to call it, that thing starts compounding. And before you know it, dude, that thing is moving so freaking fast that you're fucking second guessing whether you should still be here or not.
Sometimes you gotta stop listening to yourself.
Yeah.
And you just gotta act on instinct. Yeah, because like...
Or do some things that he talks about, like, hey, okay, I feel it coming. Okay, I got some of these negative thoughts. Okay, it's time for this.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like,
and that stops it.
I psyched myself out of going to the gym for probably 6 months before I finally went.
Wow. So like, relatable ground.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I speak a little bit, obviously for myself, but from experience on it. Because for 6 months, I was like, yeah, I should go to the gym. Like, I'm looking at Pete, whatever. Like, yeah, I could get back in shape. Like, but there was always a reason not to.
Yeah.
And I know if I did not, the moment I said I have to do this tomorrow, I did it tomorrow. Yeah. It's about accountability. Yeah. And once you make that decision, you got to follow through.
Yeah. For sure.
If you say I'm going to wake up and go to the gym, whether you get there and you don't do anything, get there, walk on the treadmill for 5 minutes.
That's it.
You did it.
Go home. You showed up. Showing up is the battle.
Yep. That's it.
That's it.
And then show up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just keep showing up.
Keep showing up.
And then, you know, like Ronnie said, like he goes up to those people. Don't think that anyone in the gym, like working out is one of these really great communities that, like, honestly, dude, single guy, like you're single, like go find.
Get in the gym.
Try to get into a conversation with somebody at the gym. Like they're trying to get better and be better. They might be fighting the same exact demons you are, and you just so happen to meet in the same place. Like that app, you don't know where they're at. Maybe they're not at the gym. Well, maybe they are. But my point was, the gym fitness is one of these really positive communities that Frankie Edgar was talking about with mixed martial arts, gyms, AA, church. Like there's a few communities out there that if you put yourself there, dude, nobody's judging you, bro. Yeah. Nobody's judging 100%. You. They're in there fighting their own battle. Yep. You know, Ronnie's in there. He's fighting a battle. The last thing he's thinking about is, oh, what the heck is this fat guy doing here? Like, no, dude. No. Everybody's open, loving, positive vibes. They got a sweat going. They're feeling good.
I've realized that's a common theme in a lot of the videos I see from people talking on Instagram or TikTok or whatever about them being in the gym. Everybody's in there fighting a struggle.
That's it, man.
And
nobody's judging you.
Like, I mean, listen, there might be some people in there doing a competition or body, but whatever it is.
Right.
But like the majority of people are in there fighting their demons, bro. Like just like me, just like you, just like you.
Wow.
And there's huge support in there. But you're talking about dating, get in the gym. Sure, get in the gym because you already have common ground now. Right. So you see somebody at the gym, you can approach them, and you already have a common interest.
Yeah.
You're both there, so it's not like you're out at the bar. What's your common interest that you know at the bar?
Are we both like getting effed up all the damn time and we're both lonely as hell tomorrow morning?
You got all the reasons to get in the gym. You just got to make it happen.
Start today.
Yeah. And like I said, just take a fucking walk in the gym, show up, get on the treadmill and walk out.
Yeah. Some of these gyms, dude, you're talking what? 17, even with inflation, what is it? $17 a month for some of these things? Like what's retro charging these days?
I think like 30.
Planet Fitness, $10.
Sick.
You know, so like
you got $10.
And you don't even need a gym. You have YouTube.
Yeah.
And like, you know,
but some people, like I know that now I can do that.
The environment.
Some people, especially coming. Listen, I came off the couch after like 8 years, bro.
Yeah.
It's tough.
No, but you're right though, Ronnie. Those home workouts during COVID, I was doing Zoom workouts with the wrestlers. You go right on YouTube.
But you had the mindset to do it already.
Right.
Yeah, but for anybody, you go right on YouTube. You basically type in what you want. I mean, there's probably something specific to your body type. I was telling you about the one guy that we do the family workouts with. Dude, it's so clean.
Yeah.
The workouts go so smooth. There's a clock starting at a minute. You see the clock. You're like, oh, okay, I only got a few seconds left until we go to the next thing. The first 10 minutes is like stretching, you know, or just like some breathing exercises.
I got to be honest, by the way, stretching is one of the most important fucking things in a gym.
Well, Joe McCullough told us years ago when he was talking to the wrestlers that your muscles are like rubber bands.
Yeah.
And if you stretch them, then now they could fire longer.
Right.
Where if you try to go in there and you don't stretch, you're not going to be able to toss the rubber band.
So I'll tell you a funny story. Actually, I think we discussed this. Thanksgiving, I go with Emily for a boot camp class at Leaks in the morning. I don't really do boot camp classes. I'm in there. It's me, Em, and like a bunch of girls. And like, I've never done this. Like I really got into benching again, and like I looked at Robbie. I'm like, bro, can we just bench? I want to get strong. And this girl, I think her name was Haley. She looks at me. I think she was like a cheerleading coach at Monmouth University. She goes, stretching makes you strong. Well, fuck, you just snapped me right out of it. All right, let's fucking get to work. But you know, I realize now at 39 the benefits of stretching. Yesterday, I went to the gym. All I did was stretch.
Yeah.
I did an hour of stretching.
Yeah.
But it was much needed.
Yeah.
You know, so you can't push yourself, and you got to listen to your body.
My homeboy, Vin Moscato's older brother, Anthony Moscato.
Yeah.
I went back when I used to go to Bally's, and I used to see him stretch, and I'm like, what is he doing? Like, why is he doing all that?
Right?
And I'm like, oh, I get it now.
Yeah.
I get
Dude,
it.
I used to be such a meathead that I used to say the only thing I stretch is my monthly budget. Like I would literally say that out loud. But Ev, what was the other question?
Another one, yeah, I'll say it. One's a little bit longer, it's a little bit different.
All right, cool. But if that person who did write in, I'm super proud of you. That was the first step. They're aware
this one is
of
big.
what they were aware of what points to put in their question. So
And
you're
the timing couldn't
self-aware.
have been better.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, how's he gonna hit us up while
Yeah.
Ronnie's here talking about he lost
Yeah.
$110?
Like right, I
Because
mean,
what
right where
episode
we're
was that
at
from,
too.
Dan?
Right.
Well,
Like,
I
how
just
did you-
went back and I just put the link in all of like the past episodes.
Okay.
When you said it last week.
Yeah, we just opened that up.
Didn't even come out.
Wow.
Right.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was
So they
amazing
just saw
timing.
the
See how
link
the
in there.
universe works?
All right, so we got another one.
Okay.
Hey, Pete and Billy. I'm in my early 30s, married with 2 kids. I own my own business, which is a blessing in many ways, and it has provided us with financial stability, but not necessarily financial freedom. We are paying the bills, but not saving as much as I would like. I'm confident that's something I can fix in due time. I've just been overwhelmed with some personal issues that have zapped me of my energy and fire to build it bigger. What I'm really writing in for is advice on how to deal with the feeling like I need to keep up with the Joneses. Most of my buddies are in high-paying jobs and crushing it, making like 3 to 4 times my income. I can't help but to compare myself to them and feel like I'm coming up short. As entrepreneurs yourself, I thought you guys could offer some good insight. Thanks.
Damn.
Wow.
The first thing that came to my mind was Dave Ramsey's approach on income and debts. And Dave Ramsey is like complete opposite of the United States of America, which is basically maxed out on credit card debt. He's all about like paying off your debts.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's a big. There's a lot of things going on there.
Can I give my answer?
in
Will
the
you put
question?
yours together?
Well, no.
Or unless you're ready?
Well, basically, my thing was with Dave Ramsey is he says that your income is your biggest wealth building tool. If you're spending a good portion of your income on keeping up with the Joneses, now you're losing your best attribute
Right.
financially,
Yeah.
which is your income. When all of your income is going to your debts, that's jacked up. But dude, you can't take any of this stuff with you. And like, bro, I got news for you. The Joneses are broke, dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Joneses,
Yep.
you
Buried
don't
in
know the
credit card
Joneses'
debt.
credit score.
Yeah.
You don't know how much monthly debts the Joneses have.
Yep.
You don't know how much savings the Joneses have. I've been working in the mortgage industry for a long time, and I used to always say, like, don't worry about the Joneses, and then I would put their last name in it. Focus on them. Your friends all still like you and love you, but your friends might be a little bit insecure if they need a dope-ass car to feel better.
Yeah.
Like, dude, downsize. Cut those bills out.
Right.
Start with some of your 30% credit cards. There's this dirty debt refi that I talk about, which is ultimately homes are at an all-time high. Your current mortgage is probably really low, but you have mad equity. But if you have 3 different debts that are literally 30% on Discover Card, Capital One, Chase, whatever it may be, you're not even budging on your monthly balance. It's all going to interest. So why are you so, not you in particular, but don't be so singular focused on your 3% interest rate when your Discover Card is 30. So like literally your blended debt relief is a cash out refi at say 7-8%. Now all of your debts are 7-8%, not 30%. And
It balances out.
I think that's an amazing question because I think a lot of people are feeling that exact same way, bro. There's so many blocks in Howell that if one guy has a Ford Explorer, there's 3 Ford Explorers on the block.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
So
bro, tunnel vision, dude.
I'll give you my take on this. And I don't say things as eloquently as Pete. I'm a little rougher around the edges, and I'll take a line from Pete. fuck the Joneses. You got to be the best version of you, and you got to figure out what works for you. Now, I'm 39 years old. We have a business, family business in town. We got an existence. We pay our bills. We do all right, nothing special. It took me surrounding myself with people. I was always taught if you want to be around five lions, you'll be the sixth.
Yeah.
I got around some people that made some really smart investments that gave me a little bit of guidance along the way. And in the last few years, I've been able to make some really good moves. I don't have a great amount of wealth, but I've recently started enjoying a little bit. I go on a $2,000 vacation. Well, I see people in Aruba every year spending $8,000, $10,000. My family is in Wildwood. We rent the same house for 7 days. It costs me $2,100 for the week. We're not going to Disney because I'm not going to say I can afford it, but I'm not ready to afford it right now. I don't want to be buried in credit card debt. I would like to, when I'm 50, be able to enjoy life a little bit more. And I'm not building for myself and my wife right now. I'm trying to put everything I can away for my kids to give them a leg up when they start.
There you go.
And, the biggest thing I would tell you is keep doing what you're doing. Maybe if you do have some debts, maybe you could talk to somebody like Petey and figure out a refi situation and balance them out. Compound interest is the most powerful thing in this world. It will bury you, which is why I try to stay off my credit cards as much as possible. But just do your thing. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. Because if I was worried, my kids would have been in Disney every year. I'd have been in Aruba with my wife. We would have went to Hawaii. And I'd have hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of debt that was unnecessary.
Yeah, man. We can't take none of these tangible items with us.
No.
Nothing.
But what you can do, and a lot of people don't think about it, is leave for your children or leave, for your nieces and nephews,
dude.
And that's overlooked. I know people that want to spend every dollar. And then I have a really close friend of mine who's 39 years old, or turning 39 actually in a couple of days. He does really well for himself. He's got no kids. He's not married. He's very frugal. He just splurged. He bought himself a Honda CRV.
Oh, dang, that's splurging.
Yeah, he went wild. He went wild. But what he does do is he spoils my kids, who are like his nieces and nephews, and my daughter's his goddaughter. Wow. And he doesn't care what everybody else is doing.
No.
He does well for himself, and he lives within his means. He's trying to build for his future.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, cool, man. Cool. And anybody that just hit us up, you guys could probably contact us directly. If it's easier, we can get a little bit more in depth, whether it's the working out or, listen, man, not to get into like the United States' business at the moment, but dude, I've been seriously looking into like all like that's going on, and like, dude, credit card debt is at an all-time high.
Through the roof.
Cost of living is through the roof. So
there's
like,
a bubble that's got to burst.
You could be making mad money, dude. I used to say, it sounds freaking stupid to even say out loud, but like over the course of the last few years, I was saying like if you're not making like over 200, like you're struggling. Like now,
in today's day and age, it's tough.
I don't mean struggling in a sense of like you don't have nice shit. I just mean if you get paid every 2 weeks or on the monthly, when everything costs so much and your debts cost so much, how much is left over at the end of the month?
Yeah.
There's freaking peanuts, dude. And then now you got to have a monster month again just to pay those freaking debts off.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
Something's got to give, dog.
Navigating life alone is tough. Add finances into it, bro. It just makes it so much. Yeah.
We're stronger in numbers.
But that's one of the things that I've taken immense benefit from this from. I'm not saying every day I'm stressed about money, but money's always at my forefront. I mean, I balance a big checkbook at work. I mean, there's always money in, money out. But I always I'm like 3 days ahead. So I know what's coming. I know what's going.
Yeah.
I used to sit up all fucking night. The number...
What do you do about it at that time?
No, there's not. But in my mind, I'm preparing for it. But I would sit on the phone all day, and I would check my bank account balance, the business account balance, 5 times a day. I'd log in every hour just to check it.
Didn't hit yet.
We've said it before. You worry about 99% of the shit you're worried about isn't going to happen. So, I'm always on there. Now, through talking to everybody and realizing how irrational this is, I've toned that down significantly, and I'm modifying my life. Things work out. You know what I'm saying? And knowing that I have the support and the tools to figure it out. And you know what? what's the worst that happens? Let's say we get fucked up for a day, 2 days.
Yeah.
I'll be all right. I mean, if I have to, I'll call Pete. He'll buy me some ramen noodles. My kids will eat.
Oh,
We'll
dude,
be
I was
okay.
gonna say, I got you on ramen.
We'll be
Anything
all right.
more than that, dog, you better call somebody else.
All we need is ramen to get through a couple of days. But
Get your sodium up with those, though.
yeah. Well, I recently found out through. Do you know Zach Bohm? He's got to be around Zach's age, right?
Maybe Zach might even be a little younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was a wrestler at Howell.
Okay.
But he's my chiropractor. And he tells me one day, because I have some issues physically, and he's like, I really want you to try this. And it's like a salt packet. But I looked, the sodium is like 1,000 milligrams of sodium in this thing. And he's like, you got to drink this. I was like, bro, this is more sodium than
all week.
Yeah, like, are you fucking crazy? He goes, no. He goes, your body needs far more sodium than you realize.
Right,
He goes,
right.
You know, you're active, you're in the gym. He goes, just do me a favor, try it.
Yeah.
And
You had those. You talking about those little packets they got?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
I like those.
bro, it helped. Like I stayed more hydrated. My body felt better. I recovered better. So just you said sodium, different type and different scope of sodium, but
right.
Yeah, they say the sea salt's really good too.
yeah, I mean, it was really impressive. The results.
What is it?
Sea moss.
Himalayan something.
Oh, sea salt. Yeah,
Celtic salt.
Yeah, that stuff too.
Celtic salt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Ronnie, you got anything else for us?
I'm just excited to be here. You know, I'm just grateful that you thought of me. Grateful
course.
that
Bro, you
I got
fit
the
in pretty
invite.
good.
Dude, you kidding me?
I really appreciate it.
You're everything that this whole thing is all about,
It's
dude.
awesome, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Just helping each other out, figure it out. You know, the news separates us enough. You know,
I stopped watching.
Me too.
Too much
anytime I go to my
negativity.
parents' house, my mother's got on. She's like, "Oh my God, did you see this?" Like, no, but why did you see that?
Yeah.
And like, maybe you should turn this off, Mom, because I think you just got another gray hair.
Yeah, all it
You
does
know?
is fuck up your day.
Yeah.
I got
And it
enough
splits
possible
us.
negativity. Yeah,
It
bro.
splits us.
I hate
That's
it.
what we were
Race,
talking about when I did
religion,
too.
sexual orientation.
Yeah.
Never been this monster gap.
No, bro. Like, if you don't understand how powerful we would be if we all got along.
That's it.
You know?
Yeah, but they don't want us to get along,
they
bro.
don't want
Because
us.
if we
Because
Religion,
we're not moldable.
divide, you
Politics.
conquer.
Yeah.
color,
Yeah.
ethnicity.
Yeah.
Bro, we grew up like Howell was pretty much like a melting pot for us.
Yeah.
Like we didn't have any type of racial hate.
No.
Yeah.
Or like I think even people just our age don't have it.
Yeah.
Like they had it. Our parents' generation, they had it, but
Yeah.
it came from the ones prior to them.
Yeah.
Bro, those days are over, man.
Yeah,
our
bro.
kids don't have it.
At least in our
We don't have
community, it's
it.
a broken cycle.
I mean, bro, we came up on hip hop. How
Yeah.
racist can you be?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
we came up on 50 Cent.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
oh, now I'm racist. I've been watching NBA,
Yeah.
NFL, listening to hip hop, and then now I'm racist.
Yeah.
Like, which one is it, bro?
Yeah.
Pick
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But just like you said, dude, better together.
Yeah.
and all of it.
You know,
The
they-
monster
That's
gap
our
in
wedding
politics.
song.
Red, blue. All right.
Yeah.
Well, where's the middle guy that has a little bit of rationale and say, oh, these are pretty decent points.
gotta sell
These
his
are pretty
soul.
decent points. Let's just go. Let's just compromise. Let's meet halfway.
I wish that could
together.
happen, but too many people anchor down with their feet and don't want to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You could be as rational as possible.
Yeah.
I'm here, you're there. We're not closing that gap.
Well, that's pride
let
and
them
ego.
leave their anchor
Yeah.
in. Yeah, let them leave their anchor in, and then you go
And
find
onward,
people that got a
humility.
little bit of wiggle room and
That's
see the
what-
world from a different lens.
That's what we're doing here,
That's
right? Like-minded people,
Yeah.
aligning philosophies,
That's
whether we agree or disagree, we're willing to have a conversation about shit.
100%.
I mean, none of this is scripted.
No.
So I don't know what Ronnie's going to say. I don't know what Pete's
No
going to
clue what I
say.
was walking into.
Yo,
Yeah.
I was all about McAuliffe talking about grounding, but like I haven't taken my shoes off since that episode.
Yeah,
and,
I'm
walked
not going
outside.
to do it.
Like it sounds great.
Yeah.
I might try it in the summer. Like in the summer, I do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's cool.
it's just
I'm not going outside in the snow with no
Well,
shoes on.
Yeah, but like what works for Joe, might
Yeah.
not work
Yeah.
for me.
Yeah.
But that
I
doesn't mean that
support
I'm
it.
not trying to find.
Yeah.
I'm not hating on him.
Yeah.
Be
and
the
I'm
best
also
you,
not
man.
trying to not find things that are going to work good for
Right.
me.
Yeah.
Let's bounce shit off each other, figure out what sticks. So you said throwing shit against the wall, see
Yeah.
what sticks, and then we share it to the rest of the world and see who else can benefit from it.
Absolutely, man.
Touch
All
more
right,
souls than I
guys.
danced
We
for.
appreciate you guys
Yeah,
watching.
bro. I love that.
We got Ronnie's getting out of here. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. We appreciate the messages. If anybody wants to reach out, please send us a message. We'll answer you. We're more than happy to reach out via email, DM, whatever you guys want to do. Click the links, like, share, subscribe. We appreciate it. And as always, if anybody wants to get a workout in, please feel free to reach out, or you just got something you want to talk about, we're here.
Yep.
Thank you, guys. We'll see you next week.
Peace.